let me tell you, all this went down in drains. Hi, so today I want to discuss a very interesting point and a very important point, I think, on this journey of self-sufficiency. And I'm hoping it's going to help other people by us discussing this and sharing it with you. One of the biggest factors you have to consider when you are embarking on this journey, especially farming projects, and especially this self-sufficiency thing, is people. You obviously need people. You're going to need people, either to help you to be as workers, or maybe consult, or veterinary vets, or you're just going to need people. Even neighbors around you, you're going to encounter people. And this is the most important factor, I feel personally, having experienced farming in first I did in large scale a few years ago, and I'm going to share that story. And then now this self-sufficient journey that we're doing, that we decided to do it slowly, in small like paced growth, rather than doing it on large scale. A few years ago, around 2014, I leased land somewhere, not where we're staying now, but it's not far from here, somewhere in Nyanza, that is somewhere in Siaya, and had 10 acres. So on those 10 acres, I had 5 acres on watermelons. Then I had about 3 acres on vegetables. That's I had spinach, I had kale, and then I had 50 by 40 pond with 10,000 fingerlings. And then I had chicken. Chicken was not per se a business. It was just for consumption of food. And this cost quite a lot of money setting it up. And then first, as it was starting, I was not staying there. And then a month into it, I moved there permanent. So I was staying in a house that was on the farm. And then I had workers. Either they come and go. And then I had one person who was staying with me and helping. And let me tell you, all this went down in drains because wrong people. First, the person who was helping me on the farm was a drunkard. And initially, I didn't have anyone else because I was really had to get workers. I didn't have anyone, so I had to use him. And essentially, he was doing his work well, as long as I was present. And so, one of the things I didn't know, I actually came to know later, that the place is usually very hot. It gets very hot in January, February, up to around April. It gets very hot. But during the day, at around maybe 2 p.m., when it's very hot, I can't even go outside. Him is wearing a big jacket and then tells me he's going for a walk. Later on, I came to learn that in this jacket, he had carried chicken eggs. He would carry about 20 chicken eggs and go and sell somewhere so he can get money to drink or buy a cigarette, you know. And then I also came to realize that I had fish, 10,000 fingerlings. So this fish, the system was working this way. I used to sell the kale and the spinach, which was perfectly timed, because between December and up to around May, there's usually no vegetables around that place. People have to walk very long distances unless you're doing irrigation. So I timed it perfect that in December, I started harvesting mine. So these market women would come around 5 in the morning. Then I go out at 6, then I have to take vegetables for them and then count there. I used to sell 1 leaf for 1 shilling. So it was a good business. But then I would make about what? If I harvest, let's say Monday and Thursday, I make 4,000 shillings on Monday and maybe 3,000 shillings on Thursday. And that money, the fish used to eat 6,000 shillings a week. So that money, I would use it to feed the fish. And then the watermelons, I would just employ people to maybe who come and go to just dig for them and make sure they don't have weeds and all that. But then one day I woke up in the morning, I found all the vegetables, the kale and the spinach. Thieves came at night and harvested everything and broke even the plants. So in a night, I lost the 7,000, 6,000, 7,000 shillings I used to make in a week. Then I came to realize the person I'd employed was the one arranging with thieves to come and do that. So naturally I chased him away and I remained alone on the farm. Then I looked for a couple of days, but there was a lot of work. So I looked for a cousin of mine who came there to help me. Now the person I chased didn't go very far. He was employed like less than 2 kilometers from where I was staying. And then now I'd remained with the fish and the watermelons. Now the watermelons, they had a farm manager again. I had someone who would come in and check the farm and bring workers to come and take care of the watermelon and also spray when the crops when needed, either with the fertilizer or what to get rid of insects and all that. So now I have this cousin I brought in. I didn't know he used to drink properly. I didn't know. He used to pretend when I'm around, he'd be very sober. But when I just leave, he'd drink everything. So I got sick. My watermelon was actually ready, like 3 weeks shy of the market. So I went to Kisumu. I brought in someone from Kibuye market. We came and got one watermelon. We tested. He told me in about 2-3 weeks, we're coming to buy. He's coming for the watermelons. And I got sick. I got malaria, very severe malaria. So I had to travel to Nairobi. I went to Nairobi for, I remember, 1.5 weeks. And I left my farm manager with the fertilizer you spray, sometimes to make the shell of the watermelon hard so that the worms don't infiltrate inside. And that's another fertilizer that I had. So I went to Nairobi. Now the farm manager went to the neighbors. Now he was spraying people's vegetables, people's farms and all that, but he never sprayed mine. So in 1.5 weeks when I came back, I went to Kibuye market and got my buyer for watermelons. We went up to the farm. Guess what? When you're picking the watermelons like this, and they're so huge, I had watermelon 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kgs, very big ones, on 5 acres. We would go pick the watermelon like this, turn it, and below it, there are holes for worms going inside. All the watermelons, the big ones, all of. So I told nothing, all of it. In fact, I asked the villagers to come and take and eat the halves that are not eaten by the worms. And then fired again the farm manager. Now, I'd remained the fish. Now, to struggle to feed fish. Macuna, it's about what? 6-7 months into the venture for fish. So they should be around maybe 200 grams to 50 grams or so. Now, that's the only thing that was remaining. Now, I have my cousin here helping me. So I remember one night at around 9:30, we were sitting down. We had just had supper. I told him, just go and confirm whether the fish are, there's no one at the fish pond, and then before we sleep. And so he went. When he went, he came back and told me there are guys at the fish pond. We ran down there, and two guys ran away. We got one. We were very sad about it. But then, only to realize this guy was our neighbor. And they had come with a net, and they are taking the fish out and go to sell to the other villagers. So anyway, because I was not from that community. But then so we found the guy, we called the chief, we took them to the police, and then the community turned against me and said, no, this is your neighbor, you can't take him to the police station, forgive him and all that. And then in that respect, we came to learn that they had actually been stealing fish all through since the fish were like 4 months. My neighbors were eating fish while I was struggling here to thinking that at the end of it, I'm going to get some harvest. And so I'm building to this point of people around you, the ones who work for you or your neighbors and everything. So yeah, I failed terribly, made a huge loss. And yeah, people failed me. So yes, so that story like that, we lost a lot of money. And it's not even the money fact of it, it's just that the stress that comes with it, that investing all your mind, your soul, your resources into something, and just losing it all like that because of people. So there's a lot of it that goes into it. Yeah, so that's just a short story of where we come from. And I learned a big lesson, huge lesson completely, that before you start anything, you need to consider the people that are going to be involved with. It's very important. People are very important. They're either going to make you succeed or you're going to fail. And so now we come back to here, especially where we decided to start on to do a self-sufficiency, to go the self-sufficiency way, and also decided that we're just going to grow at our own pace. There's no large scale, anything large scale, so that we need a lot of people at the farm. So we decided to come here, and then first of all, we had to put up a house where we're going to live. And that was another lesson again, because also made a mistake. Despite learning lessons earlier, trusted the wrong people. And we've made people have costed a lot, especially on the house. But we still have the house now. We are living here, but there's a few things that we'll have to change because we trusted the wrong people again. There's a very costly things that we'll have to change, like the roof. The roof was, person tries to put up the roof was didn't know what he was doing and did a very shoddy job. But you're going to repair that. We learned again through that. But now on the farm, we were lucky for farming. We got a very nice guy. And I'm also going to give you a point how to identify a nice person to do this for you. It's not exact science that if whatever I'm going to tell you, if also that's going to be automatic success, but it will help a lot for the kind of person you employ or work with at the farm, especially if you're living like us, you're living in an ancestral land. So everyone around is a relative, either a cousin, a brother, a sister, an aunt, you know. And this is the trickiest part, because dealing with family is crazy. At some point, I'm going to explain to you our experience again with family. But anyway, initially when you came here, there's a cousin of mine, younger than me, way younger than me, but very organized, very organized. So why I decided to work with him is that even if you meet his family, despite everything, he's really organized. He's trying to improve his family every day out. He's very busy. He has no time to go gossiping around or just idle around. He's very focused. His day is planned properly, achieves everything he plans for the day. And that's the right person to work with. And you've been so lucky. He's helped us a lot. He's a very good friend of mine. It's somebody I can sit down and talk to and chat and laugh and work together and everything. So he's been a very big part of our success here. Because sometimes, as you told earlier, we work. So sometimes we have to be Nairobi. We have to travel to Nairobi or somewhere else. And someone to live back at the farm is very important. So this guy takes care for us everything. He's very honest, very honest. Even the eggs, chicken that day, you're going to find all those eggs over there. He's going to take care of everything. Just make sure the house is safe. He's going to take care of the garden. You can see we have a very large garden over here. But why I chose to work with him is because I found him to be very organized, even in those family. And you see, for you to employ some, like now we are a farm, you can't employ someone who does not even keep chicken in his own place or even keep a cow or a goat. That person has no interest in agriculture at all, you know. So you work with someone who, even at his own place, is doing some form of agriculture, you know. Like the person I'm working with there, who is my cousin and my friend, has a cow. Actually, had like 3 cows. Has sheep. Has used to have chicken. In fact, a long time ago, I know he used to keep large number of chicken. So this is a person who's experienced in agriculture. You know, first of all, you need that experience to deal with either poultry or animals. And then, from the way he runs his family, you can see he cares for his family. He wants a better future for them. So when you work with him, he's also trying to grow, and you know, and not in a malicious way. He was going to try to grow, learns from us, you know, and does everything. So we've been lucky in that aspect, and the people you work with are key to your growth, and you've seen growth on this farm because of just working with that person. However, family has been a mixed reactions. Remember, I told you we never used to live around here. We've been in Nairobi almost all our lives, all my life. So when I chose to come back, okay, and you can imagine, having been Nairobi, we have about 8 acres of land over here. So one of us used to do everything. The farm was his for all that time. But you see, now we come back now, the reality has stuck in that now we also belong here, we need a share of ours. And I think this brought in a lot of jealous, and for lack of a better word, I'm telling you, I've seen evil from family. I've seen someone hating because of the things that we do. Yeah, so having been here for the last 1.5 years, another aspect that you need to watch, not everyone's going to be happy for you when you go somewhere to start a self-sufficient journey, especially the people around you, because they have gone their own way of doing things. They are used to traditional ways of doing things. They are used to their own way of working. And then you come in with your ideas, having experience somewhere else, what you want to do. First of all, you have to learn that this is your dream. This is your dream. No one else knows it better than you. So you avoid all the distractions that other people are going to bring, especially because they have their own opinion they want to impose on you, especially with family. I have seen over here, I have seen evil from someone in my own family who feels bad that now we are here. We've taken some part of the land, although it rightfully belongs to us, but we've let him use it for the last, 30 years or so. And so, but he chose to ignore all that and focus on our dream that brought us here. And so my point is, when you start this kind of journey, people are very important. And people does not include the ones you employ. It includes everyone, your neighbors, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, your a lot of other people, the community around you. So you have to know, you have to be able to identify who among those people, doesn't matter if it's family or not. If you feel that someone does not belong to your what, feel like someone does not belong to your dream or anyway, just let them go. You don't need to work with them. Just work with the right people. Just work with the right people. Don't feel wrong about being inspired, being firing someone. If they don't fit into your dream, just fire them. And avoid to work with family at all, especially very close family. You're going to succeed with all this. This is a video we should have done a long time ago, but I think this is the right time we tell all our followers and everyone out there that people are very important. For you to grow, you need the right kind of people around you. Don't feel bad about getting rid of those that are not helping you in any way. Something else is that just, I don't know what to say about people. I don't know what to say about people. But you have to learn human beings. And sometimes whatever they do, they're not doing it for in a malicious or anything. It's just that they have their own way of doing things, or they have their own beliefs that they want to impose on you. It's not necessarily malicious. So it's for you to be able to identify that this is the right person to work with, or this is not the right person to work with. Do not make the mistakes that I did. They are very costly. And that's why we're doing this video, so that you can see it on time, and maybe use some of the insights we've given you to identify the right people, and that you're going to succeed. Yeah, so I'm hoping that having shared this with you is going to help you, especially how to identify the right people to work with, and also, yeah, how to work with people. Yeah, but more so, how to identify the right people to work with. It's very important if you are to succeed in any project, I think, but more so things like farming or whatever you are doing here, which you are trying to live a more self-sustainable life. And yeah, so that's our experience. That's our experience. We are currently, we figured out people now. We figured people now. So it's just growth now that we're waiting for. And always very careful who we are going to work with. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed the video. Please share, subscribe, and also comment on the comment section and tell us your experiences with people. I'm sure all of us have had experiences, either good or bad, with people.